This is Matt for Behind the Gloves in association with S-Jam Boxing. I'm delighted to be joined by Ted Cheeseman. Ted, how are we? We're all weighed in today. Looking well on the scales?
Yeah, all good. All the hard bits done. It's the easy bit now. Time to perform. The bit we all enjoy and we all do the sport for. So, just looking forward to do the business Saturday night.
You're back again fighting for the British title. How excited are you to once again, potentially win that belt and take it home with you?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I don't believe I deserved to lose it when I lost it, and now obviously I've got my justice to get the title back, and I'm in brilliant shape. Really confident. Feeling the best I've felt for a long while going into a fight, and I'm just buzzing really now.
There seems to have been a bit of a change in you from the Eggington fight, obviously, to this point. Your attitude towards the sport, obviously, we all know you've had your personal battles, but you seem to be doing this now for the love of the sport and because you want to achieve in it. Was that Eggington win the sort of tip of, that turning point for where you thought, finally, I've got the rub of the green on the scorecards for a change, because you did have them controversial, results. Was that sort of a big turning point for you?
Yeah, 100% it was. Like I said, I had a lot of resentment for the sport. I felt like I was putting 110% in and getting like 0% back. So it was a gutter really, because obviously, as much as I had my bad points, as you say, when I lost against Sergio Garcia, I improved leaps and bounds straight away from then, in myself and my boxing side, and it would have done me justice to have got them 2 wins against Kieran Conway and Fitzgerald. I'd have only had 1 loss coming into this fight. But stuff happens, and it's just, you have to get on with it and roll with the punches, as I say. And now I'm back where I believe I deserve to be. And once I win this title, I think there'll be some big opportunities out there for me.
Talking about big opportunities, I know you're not one to look past any opponent, especially when you're this switched on and locked in, but we've got a big domestic scene at the minute at your current weight. Obviously Anthony Fowler just had a recent win. Are you looking, if you do get the victory, to stay around that level and have a domestic clash with Fowler, or are you wanting to move on, jump up again to European? Where's your head at with that, or is it literally one fight at a time?
It is one fight at a time. Obviously I'm one of them fighters, I'm excited. I think about a million fights before the fight. Do you know what I mean? You can't help it. If I weren't thinking about it, I'd obviously be negative going in the fight thinking I ain't going to win. Well, I'm obviously, like I said, I'm 100% certain, confident that I'm going in there to win on Saturday. So there's loads of fights going through my head, but as I said, I've got the love back for the boxing, and I have a manager and coach to deal with that. And before, I was trying to have too much involvement in that, and that's why I rushed, made certain bad decisions. And now I'm leaving it totally down to them, because then it's none of my own fault.
Yeah. How much of a weight is that off your shoulders that you don't have to do that side of things? Because obviously the fighter's job's to go in there and get the job done. Now you've got all your outside of the ring taken care of by someone else, does that just free your mind up for when you're training and concentrating on the fight a bit more?
Yeah. Obviously I've always had a good manager and a good coach, but because I was desperate and I was chasing things that I didn't need to chase, trying to rush things, I was making bad decisions and putting people into positions that they was getting me the things I wanted, because they thought, okay, you must be confident, okay, you must be ready, but not knowing what's going on the outside. Well, but now, even though everything's back good and I wouldn't be rushing, I'll be making a lot more calculated decisions, but I still believe I just got to let them do that, let these people do their job, because that's what they're doing. That's what their job is there for. So, and it makes it, like you say, it makes it a lot easier for me, because I'm not constantly searching for things and what it gets offered to me, and then I can go yes or no. Do you know what I mean? And before it was like they was giving me yes or no because I was forcing everything. Do you know what I mean? Even looking back now, the Garcia fight, I could have probably had a British title fight defence against someone who weren't really that great, got an easy defence, probably got through it and won, because they wouldn't have been so good. I could have had a bad night and still probably got the decision, but I would never have changed my life around the way I have now. So it's a blessing in disguise, do you know what I mean? Because when I was 14, you can fight him, and probably get a bit more money because it's British and domestic, and we ain't got to bring Garcia over from thinking, or you can fight Garcia, take the risk, you win the European title, these big fights. My head was always looking at the gold, do you know what I mean? But really and truly deep down now, I should have been patient and took the British title fight. But in one way, like I said, I may not have stopped what my bad habits. So for me, it was a blessing in disguise. And now I can see my career sort of rejuvenated and back in a good position. And once I get a win tomorrow, I'll be flying again.
Yeah, because obviously there's a big emphasis, especially young fighters, and people like Floyd Mayweather have got a lot to thank for this. But the people have got an emphasis on keeping the row and protecting the records. Now, moving on to JJ Metcalf, he comes into this fight undefeated. He's not been on the same stage as you. That's notable. He's not been on them big occasions like having the fight camps. No worries. So what I was going to say is, you're used to the occasion. Do you think that'll play a factor in this fight, and that you might be able to sort of play on maybe any nerves he has or anything like that?
Yeah, obviously, look, he's going to be nervous. It's a big occasion. And also, there's the thing of, like, his dad was a good fighter. They obviously ain't took that route, which he could have probably tried to take that route, like what other fighters do when their dad's been a successful fighter. But now, obviously, he's going to have a lot of pressure on him. To try and impress his dad, do you get what I mean? Because his dad's done it, he's been there and done it. But look, he's a good fighter, but he's going into deep water. And to be honest, we ain't even seen James Metcalf really been hit. You know what I mean? He's not really been hit properly. So how do we know what JJ Metcalf's going to do Saturday night? Once I hit him with the first proper big shot, how is he going to react? We don't know. So you don't know, it could be a really, really tough night, or it could be a really easy night. So it's just literally going into the unknown.
I spoke to Eddie Hearn, and he was absolutely buzzing for this fight. I think he said it could be just an absolute war if you both wanted it to. Do you think at some point it'll erupt, or it'll just go straight from the off? How do you sort of see this fight mapping out?
It's hard to say, do you know what I mean? Because you always got to sort of look at what your opponent's game plan looks like it could be, to try and adapt to see what you think could be better. But then again, I might walk out, dictate the pace, start pushing the pace early, pressure him and see what he's got. Do you know what I mean? As soon as you get in this, how you feeling? You like, it's hot. You have loads of game plans. Do you know what I mean? When you get in with fighters, you can't just have the one, because otherwise, if that goes wrong, you're sort of snookered. But we've worked on loads of different stuff for this fight, and like, I ain't been confident for a fight like this since like when I fought someone like Paulie Upton or a Senior Byfield. I feel really confident, feel really fresh, like trained super hard. I'm in super shape. Like I've been in camp for 16 weeks. You know what I mean? I'm just excited to perform. I feel like I'm going to put in a really good dominant performance, and hopefully I do. But that's how I'm feeling right now. So hopefully it comes off.
So what you're leaning towards, do you think you'll be able to stop him? How are you feeling? Because you're feeling confident now. Do you think you'll be able to go out there and, if this energy keeps going into tomorrow night, that you'll be able to stop the fight?
Yeah, look, it ain't the be all and end all, you know what I mean, of stopping him. But it'd be nice to be able to stop him, you know what I mean, and dig deep and make him dig deep, push him and get him out there. But whatever way the win comes, I'm happy. But obviously I think it'd be a very big statement, because I think a lot of people are thinking this is a lot tougher fight than what it may be. So
yeah, I was going to say, obviously Eddie touched on it a little bit, that you were classed as the underdog in this fight, but were you sort of a bit taken aback by that, as if to say, well, I'm the one who's had the really tough fights, been in the trenches, got a few questionable decisions in your mind, and you've gotten a winning path beating Sam Eggington. Were you surprised at all that you've sort of come in with that tag as an underdog?
You know what? I weren't really, because listen, he's on paper. JJ Metcalf looks unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? Looks 21-0.
Yeah.
So on paper it looks great, but like you say, these people who are doing the bet and stuff, they look into it so much, but they don't look into it like deeply. Do you know what I mean? They've seen he's had a couple of okay fights like Damon Jones and Jason Wellborn. He's come through them, so it looks good on paper. 21-0 fight sounds really good, doesn't it? So I expected it. Well, I've had a couple of losses. On paper, my record don't look the greatest, but if you look at my resume of fighters, then it's different.
Brilliant. Well, it's a fight we're all looking forward to seeing. You know, it's it could be an absolute, you know, could be fight of the night.
Yeah.
It could be fight of the night. One opinion I want to get off you just before we go, and I'll leave you be. You're on a huge card, the rematch between Dillian Whyte and Alexander Povetkin. We've seen them weigh in today also. Have you got an opinion on that fight? What's your take on that situation? Do you think Dillian will get redemption for the loss at fight camp, or do you think history will repeat itself and Povetkin will, you know, produce the same kind of performance?
I think in heavyweight boxing it's always 50-50, and I think if Dillian hurts him again and don't get him out straight away, it could end up a repeat, you know what I mean? But I think if he's worked on the right stuff in camp, when he gets him hurt, make sure he takes him out, then obviously Dillian, but it is, like you say, it's always 50-50 because they're both massive bangers, you know what I mean? And Povetkin ain't, like, I was looking at it, listening to it today, and they said like 2004 Olympic gold medalist, and like he's been at this elite level for probably nigh on 20 years. I mean, he's an elite class fighter, so you're always gonna have a tough night with him. But fingers crossed, Dillian comes through and wins.
Brilliant. Well, Ted Cheeseman, thanks for giving us some of your time on the eve of your big fight, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow after the fight. So yeah, good luck with it.
Oh, hey there, fight fans. Didn't see you there. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go to do so by clicking right here, or else.